Hey friend, I'm so delighted that you've joined us across your Christian television network. Maybe you're watching us on a digital platform. I want to encourage you to tell your in-laws, tell your outlaws, like it, share it. You know what? This is going to be a powerful time because we have some very special guests via down under, literally, that have joined us in studio. I'd like to welcome the Smallbones, David and Helen Smallbone. And some people say, man, I've heard that name. I know that name. But we're going to talk about an awesome film, Unsung Hero, and an awesome book and some other things here. But before I talk to these wonderful people, I want you to encourage you to make sure and call a friend. Call them right now, okay? And we're going to start with ladies first. Helen Smallbone, tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, we have been married just on 49 years, David and I. We have 7 kids. We have bookend girls and 5 boys in the middle. Our oldest daughter is better known as Rebecca St. James, and our 2 middle children are better known as For King and Country.
That's right. And this wonderful gentleman over here, David Smallbone, a little bit about his background.
About the wonderful part.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot in the music industry, obviously taking care of your family, but making a difference more than anything else, staying authentic to the gospel, which is something I appreciate about the music platform that God has given you both and your family, and it's wonderful, wonderful. Tell us what that journey's been like a little bit.
It's been extraordinary. It's high highs, low lows. Grew up in a wonderful Christian family, wonderful parents. Probably took it for granted, and then I was working in a book publishing company, got moved from Brisbane to Sydney, and in quite a miraculous way met this wonderful lady, and I met her 53 years ago. She was not interested in me too much in the early days because we talked a lot, but I wasn't serious about Jesus. And then in a Bible study, which we were both at, I made a commitment to follow Jesus. She had been dating another guy at that time. She dropped that guy the next day, and we've been together ever since. And I cry when I talk about 2 people. I cry when I talk about Jesus, because he challenged me to give my life away. And Helen has loved me unconditionally. I've been in music business since I was 16, so that's, what, 58 years. So that's all I know. And with the ups and downs, she's loved me, and we've just had a wonderful life. And I'm grateful every day.
It's so beautiful. Well, we're going to come back and talk about the origin of the film Unsung Hero, but I like to say there's a picture that paints 1,000 words we could ever say, and I like our viewers to get a little sneak peek of this awesome film coming in theaters April 26th. Now, you can get a group by April 24th, and remember, you're voting for more of this kind of content in your theater when you support opening weekend. So let's go to that clip and be right back with the Smallbones in just a moment across your Christian television network.
It's going to be dangerous and scary. It's going to be so hard that you want to go back. And giving up, it's not an option. We've got to fight our way forward.
Unsung Hero is about how family pulls together and supports one another.
It's also a story about God and how he just shows up so evidently and just made a way for your family.
Families need a story that they can hang on to or something that can inspire them.
This is really powerful.
It's mum and dad's story of coming from Australia to America. But the movie really tells the story of that knife's edge moment of everything can fall apart or you can overcome.
Within the journey, there's redemption, there's hope, there's love.
Where's all the furniture?
Where are we gonna sleep?
Okay, hop in, Loki.
Seeing this movie, you get to see women be strong the way we see women be strong in life.
This story isn't showing a perfect family going through a situation. It shows a family that fights together for each other, not against each other, can overcome obstacles together, and I think it will inspire people to want to do that in their own life.
It's actually a quote, and it's by Mother Teresa, and she says, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family.
Pray as a family. Ask for your needs as a family.
When you follow God and you're allowing Him to lead your story, miraculous things happen.
I would call the film an honour project to Mum and Dad and to parents, particularly to Mum.
My dream is to be like you. It always has been.
The biblical verse, children will rise up and call their mom blessed. This is like the film version of that.
I love to sing. And if it can help other people find what God's given me and my family, then I'll do it with all my heart.
What does it look like to actually be part of a family and to take risks and to have faith? And out of that, impact other people.
I value family. It's what's shaped me. It's impacted my entire life so much. And I just don't know if we have enough stories on the screen that are actually telling the story of the power of a family.
I was really moved by the way your steps were orchestrated providentially, even when that led you through suffering.
We became very much a praying family.
I enjoy this movie for the fact that it honours God, because without Him on this journey, it was too hard to do.
Something inside me and Helen knew that we had a calling.
It needed to be told and seen in a movie.
But look around you, David. Your faith, your family, they're not in the way. They are the way.
There's the awesome sneak peek of Unsung Hero, A King and Country. I mean, just your whole family involved with this, and man, it's amazing. I will ask you, Mr. David, what was the origin or the inspiration behind the birthing of this film?
What had happened is Luke, for many, many years, since For King and Country started maybe 12 years ago, every night he'd talk about compassion and with the goal of funding children out of poverty and also educating them. And that story resonated with a lot of people. And about 3.5 years ago, he went to a film producer in LA and said, this story really reacts so well. What do you think about making a movie? And almost immediately he came back and said, well, we'll give you $6 million, which shocked the daylights out of us, to go out and make the movie. And it's been the whole process has been miraculous. Even filming it when COVID was still around, you know, one day we had to shut down, you know, there was some, and then finding Daisy, who plays Helen in the movie. We'd had a girl who was in Bluey. She was going to do the movie, and then 10 days out, found out she couldn't do it anymore. So Daisy lived in Brisbane, Australia, my hometown. Somehow we found her, and 10 days later she was here, and she just did a wonderful job. She's got 4 children of her own, and it was weird. You know, we've lived the miraculous, particularly when we lived in poverty when we first came to Nashville 32 years ago, and then blow me down on the filming of the movie. We saw the miraculous again, and part of it is they had a prayer team praying every day, and so it's. Honestly, buddy, it's been an extraordinary experience. And I think my comment to anyone who's prepared to listen, live on the edge. Live on the edge, and you're prayerful, you'll see the miraculous. A lot of people want to live a secure.
Our pastor, when he saw the movie, said, if you want to see a miracle, need a miracle. And when we first came to America, because we'd lost everything, we were living very hand to mouth, and we needed miracles. And God God showed up. We got food left on our doorstep. We got given a brand new car. Our youngest daughter, we didn't have any health insurance. I was 6 months pregnant when we came. And she was born in a hospital, and that hospital bill was paid for anonymously. We just saw our house. We had no furniture, which that trailer shows. And we had no beds, and a Sunday school class went through their houses and their attics and filled our house with furniture. Only God.
Yeah.
Only God.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing, and I love that. That's what the scripture says in Ephesians 3. He does exceedingly, abundantly, above all we could ever ask or think, according to the what? The power that works inside each one of us as a believer.
My life verse now. After our experience, you know, I think Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 used to be my life verses. And since our experience, yeah, Ephesians 3:20 is definitely it.
That's beautiful. And, you know, I think about the journey both of you have been on. I like to say humility brings the miraculous into our life. That's one hallmark I recognize with both of you, just briefly meeting, is the humility. And I think that's a hallmark of a genuine, authentic believer of Jesus Christ. And I see that even within your family. So you put that seed in them at an early age, and they're not moved by the fame or moved by the platform. They're actually using the platform, like you said, to have compassion, to help these children, and to make an impact in people's lives and help people all over the world get the seed of the gospel in their heart. And that's what I think a film like this can do. And that's what films do. People may not walk into the doors of a church, but you know what? They go see a film, get inspired, get impacted by that film, and that's why it can transcend all ethnic and religious boundaries, and that's why it's so important to get out and support opening weekend. I'm going to ask you, David, why is it so important for people to support, particularly opening weekend, which happens to be April 26th, but they can get their early tickets April 24th. Why is it so important to the folks in Hollywood?
Well, you know, they're very bottom line, and if the first week does well, they'll put more money into the marketing. I think the marketing budget at the moment is $12 million, and we've been told if we get that, we do well that first week, they'll add another $3 million to the marketing budget. And that sounds very commercial, but not for me, because what it is Hollywood sharing the most wonderful message known to man to as many people as possible. So when you come and support it that first week, and if we get those numbers right, then more people are going to see the message which, you know, we experienced personally, the wonder of Jesus. And to this day, it impacted all the kids because they lived it. They saw the furniture arrive when we didn't have furniture in our house so they saw the miraculous. And I'm at a funny point in my life now that I almost feel like every man needs to go through what I went through, because it was such a catalyst for me to go deeper with Jesus. I want that for everybody.
It's powerful. What do you think about, you're hearing more and more films that are inspirational, that are family-driven. It seems like there's a hunger for this type of content. What are you seeing out there?
I think there is a hunger for this type of content. I think it used to be, we used to see it, and now it's gone. You know, everything is about dysfunction, about
chaos.
Yeah, just the negative side of life. But there's nothing that's actually, or very few shows that are actually speaking of functionality, of how to have a more functional life. And of course, we as Christians know that the foundation of that is Jesus. He is the one who brings us life and life more abundantly. Right. And each of us has that in our own stories if we follow Jesus. I'm encouraged by the movie because it is a family movie. I've been, I mean, we've been married just on 49 years. Actually, when the movie comes out on April 26th, it is our 49th wedding anniversary.
I'm the gift that keeps on giving to her.
He knew how to celebrate big. No, it was so random. Lionsgate chose that date. And when Joel, our son, who plays David in the movie, said, "Oh, Mum, it's being released on April 26th," I'm like, you know, that's our wedding anniversary. That's our 49th wedding anniversary.
None of us had put two
and then he
together.
was like, "Oh, yeah, I know that." You know, a bit of a stretch there, I think. But when we've seen the movie being shown in screenings, we've seen it impacting everyone really in a different way because they align with a different character. A lot of men align with David, providing for his family, feeling like a failure, having job loss, having, you know, sort of circumstances reverse in the hard ways. A lot of people relate to me, being the wife, having choices. Do you support your husband through this? Do you not? Some people will not have supported their husband, you know, through a time of trial. And they're recognising a better way. And then I think even as kids, for kids and young people, we did not hide our circumstances from the children. We needed them because it was so hard. That was our unit. That was God and our family holding together was our strength. And now I can see that that's even impacting families on how to work together, how to be together, how to function better. And the crazy thing is, in some of these screenings that have actually been managed by Hollywood, we've seen people who are not believers, in actual fact, who are living alternate lifestyles that we would not encourage. And I mean, the one guy who was managing one of the screenings was there meant to have people fill out things and then question and give questions that he had to leave the room after the showing because he was crying. I mean, he was so impacted. And then, you know, he got himself together and came back in and continued what he needed to do. So it reaches, I think, just about everybody because everybody's a part of a family, whether functional or dysfunctional. Yeah, no, and frankly, we joke because we think every family is dysfunctional because we as people are dysfunctional to some degree.
Well, I concur with you, having the privilege to get a sneak peek of the film. I know it's for everybody, and it doesn't matter where you are. It is for everybody, and I love the themes in this. What is something that stuck out to you as far as a scene in the film that just stuck out? I'll start with you.
Well, my special scene, I think, is when we were randomly provided Christmas that first year. I knew Christmas for us had always been a special time, and I had taken seriously sort of helping bring the family together and blessing them each Christmas. That year I knew it probably wasn't going to happen, so I was putting out hints to the kids that, you know, Santa's not going to find us and it's going to be hard this year and it's going to be, you know. And God randomly used a second grade child in our local elementary school to raise his hand and say, I know a family in our local neighbourhood that we could sponsor, because they were looking for a local family to sponsor for Christmas, and we became that family. And our kids were more spoilt that Christmas than I think they'd ever been before. And you know, it showed me a special character trait of who God is, because Jesus promised that he would provide us our needs. We had seen him be faithful to that. He had looked after us and provided us our needs. But I didn't see Christmas gifts as a mum as a need. I saw them as a mother's wants. And yet God, in his kindness to encourage me, allowed us to celebrate Christmas well that year. And I just see that as God being in the details and just loving on me.
That's beautiful. David, talk about, if you will, the process of making this film. What was that like for you?
It was easy for us because we really decided not to be involved.
Well, we weren't actually asked to be involved. They interviewed us right at the beginning, and then it was.
You don't know this about me, Paul, but I can be a strong-willed guy, and I tell people I evidence the fruits of the Spirit, but not always. And I think the one thing the boys did do, September, we filmed it October, year before last, the boys did send us the script. And I started to read it, and then I decided, you know what, I probably shouldn't read it, because I will go there and influence. I think both Helen and I wanted the boys to position the movie as they'd seen our life. She read the script, and when the only comment, I think she agreed with it. There's a little bit of exaggeration here and there, but
it's really 4 years of our life trimmed down to 2, really, you know.
And so it's pretty real, but you know, her comment back to Joel and Luke was, just make sure you don't leave out the miracles. And they didn't. I think they listened to her. And sometimes with Christian movies, there's this goal, well, we've got to go wider, and they homogenize the script and leave a little bit of Jesus out. Yeah. I don't think they have done that. One other thing that I wanted to follow on from your question to Helen earlier, as far as connecting, a story came out in the Tennessean today about the movie and our family, and they took it very seriously. And the lady looked at the movie before she did the interview with Joel and Luke. And I was there that day because we were part of a film shoot, a photo shoot. And I said, what do you think? She said, after seeing it, I wanted to slap you over the head. And no one's ever said that to me before. She did once, which shows up in the movie, as you saw. And I learnt, and I've been a good boy ever since. You know, that's what our men, that's what us men do. We're quick learners, particularly when we're told by our accountability partners shape up. But this lady's daughter, the journalist had a link, so they watched it together that night. And the journalist called Helen up a week later and said, I just want you to know, my daughter has come to me and said, when the movie goes into theaters, she's 15, I want to go and see it again with you and take my friends from school. And I thought...
That was shocking, because I did not realise that it would go to, like, teenagers. Yeah. Teenagers are such a unique audience. I wasn't sure it would translate to teenagers, but she'd gone to her mum and said, oh, it's my favourite movie. It's one of my... And she was like, really? I think even mum was surprised. So, yeah.
I love the fact that, I like what you said earlier, that we didn't water it down. We have a lot of things that have a form of godliness but deny the power thereof. And I think if you're going to do a faith-based film that transcends all ethnic, religious boundaries, people that are lost, they're all looking for purpose. And that's one of the themes that I see within this. It gives people a sense of purpose when they watch this film. But I love the fact that you didn't hide the miracles, the miraculous, because that's the kind of God we serve. And it goes back to what you said in Ephesians 3:20, what we were sharing earlier. And I think that this generation cries out for that authenticity and the real Jesus of the Bible. We've had Jesus misrepresented.
Oh, yeah.
Not Bible. And so I thank God that this film, Unsung Hero, is in theaters. We're about to wrap up. It's too short in this amount of time to share everything. That's why you got to go see this film opening weekend. And you go to the website right there on your screen. Be a digital media evangelist. Download all the artwork. Share it at your local church. Tell your pastor, share it. Be salt and light. Run a 30-second trailer for video announcements at church and support opening weekend. Because when you do that, you're letting the gospel spread to people that otherwise may never walk into the doors of a church. Real quick, Behind the Lights, this book, The Extraordinary Adventure of a Mom and Her Family. Helen Smallbone. Yeah. You authored this book. Talk about the inspiration behind this.
Well, every time we tell stories from our journey, people will come and say, oh gosh, you know, you need to write a book. And we just smile and sort of, you know, go on. Well, we were actually doing a documentary with our sort of filmmaker son about 3 years ago, and we'd just been interviewed, David had been interviewed, I'd been interviewed, and then I was sitting having lunch with the producer and our son and our cameraman, and I told another story that we had not told in the interview, and our son said, you need to write a book, Mum. And it was like God changed the switch, and in that moment it was like, yeah, it's time. And so then I went back to David and I said, by the way, I want to write a book, find me a publisher. Because I know he's got lots of connections. The next day. Yeah, and so, that's what
I do, you know, I'm here to serve.
So it's a memoir. It's my memory of what God has done within our family. It sets up Rebecca's career, it sets up for King and Country's career. And what I want viewers to know is that no one read the story all my memoirs and read the book until it was
published.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, get the book, go see the movie. You're voting for more of this kind of content in your theater. Until next week, same time, same place. We'll see you soon. God bless you.
Okay, stay close. Let's go.
My place in this world. The wind is moving, but I'm standing still.
On my last tour back home, I lost a lot of money.
A life of pages, waiting to be found.
How can we say goodbye to everything that we know and love?
This is my last chance. I want to do something that matters.
That's hopeful, a head that's full of dreams.
However you guys feel about being here, we need to pray for everything that we need.
But this becoming is harder than it seems.
But look around you. Your family, your faith.
Feels like
That's what makes you rich in life.
Welcome to Nashville, y'all.
I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. This is our exciting adventure together.
You have been given a beautiful voice.
She's a special one, David.
Trigger's getting other folks to see it.
Does anybody really care what a 16-year-old girl thinks about God?
I'm trying to protect her, and it will never be enough.
It's going to be dangerous and scary. It's going to be so hard that you want to go back. And giving in, it's not an option. We've got to fight our way forward.
Your family, they're not in the way. They are the way.
It takes a lot to live out your dream. Hard work and sacrifice. I trained this to be like you. You're my hero, Mum.
Are y'all from England?
Australia. Australia. I wish I had an accent.